My husband answered the door and went completely white. I had never seen that look on his face before. Standing on our porch was a teenage girl holding a manila envelope. She looked at him and said, "You know who I am, don't you?" He tried to close the door. She put her foot in it. I stepped forward and asked who she was. She looked at me with these eyes I had seen every single day for 17 years. His eyes. She said her name was Lily. She said my husband was her father. I almost laughed. We had been married for 19 years. I thought I knew every single thing about this man. He was asking her to leave. His voice was shaking. She held out the envelope and said her mother had just died. She said her mother left a letter explaining everything. A letter, a DNA test, and a name. His name. He grabbed my arm and said it was a scam. A mistake. He said he had never seen this girl before in his life. But his hands were trembling, and he would not look at me. I took the envelope. He begged me not to open it. I opened it. Inside was a letter written by a woman named Dana. I recognized that name immediately. Dana had been his coworker 17 years ago. He had told me she moved away. He had told me they lost touch. He had told me a lot of things. The letter was 4 pages long. It described a 2-year affair. It described a pregnancy he knew about. It described a conversation where he gave Dana money and told her to disappear. She did. She raised Lily alone. She never asked him for anything after that. But before she died, she wanted her daughter to know the truth. Lily was 16. She had his nose, his cheekbones, that same slight tilt of the head when she was waiting for someone to speak. I looked at my husband and I did not recognize him at all. He started crying. He said it was complicated. He said it was a different time. He said he was scared and young, and he made a mistake. Lily stood on the porch watching him cry, and her face was completely still. She said she did not come here for an apology. She said she came because she had nowhere else to go. Her mother was dead. She had no other family. She was 16 years old, and she was alone. I stepped back, and I let her inside. My husband said my name like a warning. I told him to stop talking. I made Lily sit down. I got her a glass of water. She sat at my kitchen table in the house her father had built with the money he never sent her mother. She looked exhausted and terrified and completely composed all at once. My husband stood in the doorway and said nothing. I asked Lily if she was hungry. I asked if she had a place to stay. She shook her head. I told her she could stay with us. My husband made a sound. I looked at him and something in my face must have told him everything because he went silent immediately. That night I called a lawyer. Not about Lily, about him. Because the moment I read that letter, I understood something very clearly. Lily had lost everything. I had lost everything too. But I was not going to let her lose anything else. She stayed in our guest room that night. I sat outside the door until I heard her breathing slow. My husband slept on the couch. He kept texting me. I kept not responding. In the morning, Lily came downstairs and asked if she could shower. I said of course. She paused at the bottom of the stairs and said thank you for not hating me. I told her none of this was her fault. She nodded and walked upstairs, and I stood in my kitchen holding my phone with 17 years of a lie sitting in my chest like a stone. I filed for divorce 3 weeks later. Lily is still with me. She calls me by my first name. Someday maybe something else.